everybody, this is the Vikstrand. Today we're going to talk about Farewell to Arms. I'm not the biggest fan of the book. I think it is a well-written book, but I was bored about it and I didn't really care about what happened to the characters or anything like that. I will say that it is a fairly accurate adaptation to the book, actually, even though this one only clocks in at about 80 minutes or something like that. Not unlike the monstrosity from 1957 that clocks in at almost twice the length of this movie, which apparently is some kind of a big Hollywood epic. But that also made me a little bit puzzled. How come one of the most famous novels of the 20th century only has been filmed twice? I don't know if you count that Chris O'Donnell, Sandra Bullock movie that came out late 90s as an adaptation of it, because I don't know that much about that movie. I think it is more about Hemingway as a person rather than the event that took place in the book Farewell to Arms. We're gonna take a look at the other movie that was made, the one from 1932. So it is a 90-year-old movie that we're gonna take a look at today, and it is called starring Gary Cooper, and it's called Farewell to Arms. Cooper plays Ernest Hemingway, who at the time was an officer in the Italian army during World War I. And he meets this nurse that he falls in love with and makes him question his duties and stuff like that. Is he going to give up his duties towards the Italian army to be with her? She's a nurse and stuff like that, and he has a bit of a reputation, and can they love conquer and stuff like that. I'm going to say that this movie is a bit clunkily told, and it is, fairly boring, even though for being a 90-year-old movie, it still moves fairly okay. Because of its rather short runtime, the movie never truly drags or anything like that, but this movie has aged rather horribly, because the, catastrophe at Caporetto, where the Italian army basically fell apart and everything went into disarray, is shot horrendously bad. It's like watching the beginning of the Hunger Games or something like that, where the Hunger Games actually starts. That's a weird little cross thing I just did, but whatever. You have no idea who is doing what to who or why, and that's a big problem. Gary Cooper is very good. In fact, both our main characters are pretty damn good. Apart from that, there isn't any people to really attach yourself to or anything like that. But the movie moves along, and as I said, it's a fairly good adaptation of the original source novel. The movie is fairly okay. I mean, the thing is that I have no problems with old movies. I can watch super old movies and I can find them to be either good, bad, or in between. This one, however, Father Time has done a number on this particular movie, and I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. It isn't anything terrible in this movie. There isn't anything offensively awful in this movie. It is just a little bit, I could do worse. Apparently there is actually two different endings to this one, because they have changed the entire ending for the ending that was not in the book and which actually aired a lot on American TV in the 40s and 50s or so I've heard. But the one I saw and the one that is reviewed here is of course the one that follows the book's ending, but I don't know if that would matter anything. Tide is coming in, by the way. So, not a bad movie, it's just a little bit plodding and I don't care-ish. Farewell to Arms receives 40 points of me. It is a fairly okay movie. It has some pretty good acting to it. It has a couple of sequences that was pretty damn good, and apart from that Caporetto debacle, the rest of the movie looks fairly okay, but nothing eventful really. So I'll see you next time from Well So and So reviewing Well Such and Such. Thank you for watching. Thank you very much. Oh yeah, I hurt my tailbone, so I can't jump anymore for a couple of weeks. Yay.